Hello, our conference chair, Dr. Justin Paul, is also expected to join. I think he has connectivity issue. He will join. He promised that he will be present. Dr. Justin Paul. No. Okay, he will join on the way. Yes, I will give again the links to follow. So I believe Dr. Gino, the Executive Director of Sagartha Institute of Management Studies, Father Dr. Gino Johnny, kindly you can introduce the speaker of the day, keynote address, and let us start the proceedings on time itself.
Good morning, Professor, and good afternoon, all Indian participants, distinguished delegates, respected faculty members, researchers, scholars, students, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct privilege and honor to welcome you all to the keynote session of the International Conference on Management Research Sagartha SIMS 2026, ICMRS 26. Today, we have the pleasure of welcoming an eminent scholar whose work has significantly advanced the fields of artificial intelligence, data mining, machine learning, decision support systems, and business analytics. His research has consistently demonstrated how intelligent technologies can transform organizational decision-making and address complex real-world problems. It is my great honor to welcome Professor Boris Delibašić, full professor at the Faculty of Organizational Sciences, University of Belgrade, Serbia. Professor Delibašić is a distinguished researcher, an internationally respected academic, and a corresponding member of the Academy of Engineering Sciences of Serbia. His academic journey has been marked by pioneering contributions to intelligent decision support, data science, and organizational systems, with numerous high-impact publications and international research collaborations to his credit. Beyond his outstanding scholarly achievements, Professor Delibašić exemplifies leadership through service. His long-standing commitment as a member of the Mountain Rescue Service of Serbia reflects the values of courage, compassion, and dedication that inspire both academia and society. Professor, we are deeply grateful that you have accepted our invitation to share your insights with us. We are confident that your keynote address will stimulate meaningful discussions and inspire researchers, educators, practitioners, and students alike. On behalf of Sagartha Institute of Management Studies, the organizing committee of ICMRS 26, every participant gathered here today, I extend to you a very warm welcome to ICMRS 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a hearty round of applause as we welcome Professor Boris Delibašić to deliver the keynote address. Professor, the stage is yours.
Thank you a lot, dear Executive Director. Thank you for this warm welcome and for this great invitation. And I believe this will be just the start of our fruitful cooperation, inspired and made the content who was made by Professor Justin Paul, who was recently keynote speaker at our conference. So I thank you, the Institute for Management Studies, and your conference. I will share now the screen.
Yes.
Wait a second. Just maybe to start the presentation or. Entire screen, this is best.
Yeah.
No, it will be no mistake. Okay. So I heard the conference is going on well. That is a great success with 200 papers. Nowadays, this is really a significant conference because not many conferences can achieve such a number of papers, especially in this area of research. So I welcome you from the University of Belgrade Faculty of Organizational Sciences. Belgrade is located in, let's say, southeast of Europe. Europe in the south has three peninsulas. You all heard about Spain, you all heard about Italy. That's the Pyrenees, the Apennine Peninsula, and here is the Balkan Peninsula. Balkan is a Turkish word that means wooden mountains, mountains full of wood and forest. So we are in the, let's say, heart, on the border of this peninsula in Belgrade, and Belgrade has one of the oldest civilizations. Who likes history, he can see that Vinča was one of the oldest civilizations some 7,000 years ago, and it spread from here. This is a very important place because it's the center, beginning of the Balkan Peninsula from here to the south. And this was for thousands of years. This big river, the Danube, was the border of the Roman Empire. So this river was very hard to cross. So actually, the civilization, as they called it, was south of here, and north from there. There were some tribes that were not Romans. But this is just a little bit history. So some 7,000 years later, we are here at the University of Belgrade, one of the biggest universities with 30,000 students. Maybe in Indian terms, this is not big, but here it's quite big. And our faculty is the Faculty of Management and Information Systems. And this is our new building that was opened 3 years ago. And this is one of our slogans, that good organization is the key of success. I welcome you warmly from our Faculty of Organizational Science Dean, who could not join us today because to some other duties, Professor Marko Mihić. And he says that at our faculty we cultivate knowledge and skills that our students can apply in practice, preparing them to become agents of change in a rapidly evolving world. What sets our faculty apart is the integration of informatics and management, interdisciplinary research, and the development of sustainable business solutions. As an institution, we aim to establish a strong position on the map of higher education in Europe and the world, and through our dedicated efforts, contribute to the advancement of the economy and society. So these are our numbers. We are founded in 1969. Our first study started in 1971. And actually at that time we were established in socialistic Yugoslavia as a faculty that has huge, big connections to the MIT Sloan School of Management. So our first programs were inspired based on these programs, on one of the best business schools in the world. And nowadays they resemble very much to this business school. And currently we are, let's say, one of the best university faculties in Belgrade and the region. And as far as students concerned, we are actually the most beloved faculty. What I will talk to you today is, and I ask you to tell me how much time I have remained. I will tell you a little bit about my research. As I figured out, we have some half an hour for the talk, so I will deduce what I told about this faculty, but please let me know if I spend too much time. So what I'm Yes, please let me how much time do I have for the presentation?
Professor, you can take 40 minutes for your presentation. Now it is in India it is 3:10. We can go up to 3:50.
Okay. I will not need so much time, just to know that I'm not under pressure. Okay. So at the Faculty of Organizational Sciences, our faculty is concerned with management and information systems, integration, independent research, and also joint research. And actually, we do a lot of machine learning and artificial intelligence. And I will now talk to you about the problem that my research group is doing a lot. And it's about the connection between machine learning and decision support systems and the way how human make decisions. I will start with a small example. Churn prediction is a problem that can be spotted in all in different organizations, from enterprises to faculties where students can drop out from their studies, or in enterprises where employees decide to leave the organization, or where customers try to choose another provider of their services rather than the existing one. And it's interesting that people use mostly machine learning for these purposes to recognize who will actually leave our organization. And in these cases, it can be said like this, you will churn with a probability of 98%. And when you hear this, oh, it's a good percent, okay. But now the question is crucial. If someone tells you you will leave with 98%, what does it mean? What does it mean to someone on the other side? What should he do if he finds out this? So definitely this is not enough that someone tells you, okay, this student is probably will quit studies with 99%. Some decision has to be made regarding the students. And this decision is mostly not made with machine learning system. It can be made now with recommendation can be made using artificial intelligence, but I will show you an approach that actually helps making decisions. And this is what we are doing about. So we are joining computer science and some economics and business approaches in order to get our solution. So the practical gap, as I mentioned, is that we can have accurate prediction whether someone will leave the company or not, but still the decision is not be made. So if we have a machine learning model, and this machine learning model gives us a prediction score, we still have to make some decisions based on this score, and we have to make some action and intervention. And there is a way to go from this to this. In practical term, for example, in telecommunication companies, there are departments that are doing this prediction. And this is where their job stops. So they give it to another department. This can be, for example, a marketing department or some other department that's occupied with customer churn. And then they have their models, how they make decision on what customers. So they have some portfolio, they have some budgets, and they have to make based on the data that they came from each client. They have to make some decision, and it's never simple. So machine learning gives us output, usually some probability of someone leaving, but then we can make a decision. And as in the introduction, I was introduced as someone who is doing decision support system. Yes, I'm also currently for the next couple of years chair of the European working group of decision support systems, and decision support systems is something, an area that I'm occupied with. These are decision support systems that help managers to make decisions based on data and different models. So here we propose that actually when we have machine learning models, we can build decision support system that can help us which action should be taken, under which rules, and with what justification. This is something that machine learning algorithms usually do not do. Another approach, and this is also the problem with large language model, is actually that accuracy does not guarantee the transparency of the decision, the monotonicity, that's the fairness of the decision, the alignment, policy alignment with our company, or the possibility to make decisions. So actually, this is all something that machine learning and artificial intelligence alone cannot do. This is something that people have to do, recheck. Artificial intelligence and machine learning can be, let's say, can help in this endeavor, but not more than that. Just a second. And now the key question is, how can a machine learning model become a deployable decision support system artifact? So here it's not to argue that decision support system should replace machine learning models. It's not about saying, no, we are better, we can do it better. But the idea is to give a decision layer that can make predictions usable in organizational settings. The idea is to use all signals that are retrieved from machine learning, give some decision logic that's within the experts who actually make the decision. And these are ordered concepts. I will show you what this is. Some business constraints and decision rules. I will talk on the next slides on this to see what this is. It's not complicated, it's quite easy, but it's very important to have it. The problem in realistic, when you have only data and give a machine learning model only data to learn based on this data, is that usually machine learning, the models and the data is not aware of this. And this is something that has to be included in the model to make decisions that are really important and that really can be used. The idea is also when using decision support system is that it can enable explanations, some sensitivity analysis, and some counterfactual votive reasoning. So the idea to enhance machine learning models is useful when correctness, transparency, fairness, justification, and feasible action matter as much as accuracy. So this means in areas that actually don't need this, just need an accurate decision, you don't have to be concerned about adding a decision support system layer. It's not important. If I predict, let's say, meteorological data, how much the temperature will be or how much rain it will fall. So for me, it's not important whether some organizational rule are respected and so on, because in these cases, it's just important to be as accurate as possible. So the idea of this research was we used churn decision support system. And we extracted on the data, we had a simple machine learning model. This was a decision tree model, and the decision tree model was used because it's practical, it has rules, it can find some borders in numerical data where decisions are made, and it can be very much used for building. This model can be very much used as an input for building decision support systems. For building these decision support systems, we used a model that was developed in ex-Yugoslavia. It was called DEX method, and this means decision expert method. And it's a very, let's say, simple method that can reproduce all the learned rules. So all rules that are present in data and the decision tree that extracted the rules, we can reproduce it with this method and actually add also additional rules that were not identified by the decision tree. The idea later is to bring some expert concepts into the play. So these are the way how experts look at data, and on the next slide I will show you what does actually means. So experts are, for example, concerned how much if someone will churn. Experts they have two concepts in their mind: how much someone uses the services and what plans they call or user packages they use. And at the end, it's very important that everything is fair. This is this monotone rules that we have some let's say monotonic and fair decision making. And also it's very important what should we do that someone alters or changes their decision. This is very important. So for every customer, we can have actually a proposition what the customer should do in order to change his decision. Okay, so these are the empirical results to see what is actually happening. If I use pure machine learning algorithm, I will get an 80.5%. I will get an 80.5% of decision tree accuracy. And this is something that's, let's say, quite good for this data set. If I use this hierarchical, if you use this DEX method, I will have a drop in accuracy, it's 75.6%. On the other hand side, if I look what the recall is, it's 85% for the decision tree. So that's the percentage of the customers that will churn and that I really recognized with my model. But if I see with the DEX model, this will be even better. And what happened is that the number of rules for the decision tree, we had 10 tree leaves, but let's say this decision tree was reconstructed with 33 rules, and we dropped it down to 16 rules using this DEX model. So this is how we went. So we first built a machine learning model that didn't have decision support system properties. That means it was not concerned whether these decision rules were consistent, whether they were aligned with organizational rules and so on. And this model can be absolutely reconstructed with the DEX method I mentioned, and we see that it actually achieves the same results as expected, and it produces this model with 33 rules. On the other hand side, when using this expert-based decision support system, we have a drop in accuracy, we have better identification of the people that will really leave the company, and the model is simplified. So few rules are made, but what we gain really is that now the decision making is really consistent for all customers. It's not possible that for some customers, if the usage of some plan increases, that this for some customer will increase leaving the company, and for some other it will drop the wish to leave the company. So this is not anymore possible. And big important thing is that now the counterfactual analysis, let's say recurse analysis, can be made easily. That means that for each customer now we have the possibility to see what should be made in order that this customer change this decision. So important thing is that if we want to introduce a decision support system layer, this usually means that a drop in accuracy will happen. But on the other hand side, some fairness, transparency, simpler rules, and some built-in counterfactual reasoning will be done. So this is actually the question whether managers are ready to pay for this drop in accuracy in order to get these properties. as in this area there is no free lunch, this is actually the price that we have to pay in order to have some models that are really consistent. Okay. What's here very important? So if I have a decision, if I have a churn prediction model, and that means this is a very simple model that looks how much people make telephone calls in the morning, how much they telephone in the evening, how much customer service calls they make, how much, whether they use international plan and voicemail plan. This is a structure that's usually given in machine learning models, where all of these attributes are on the same level of hierarchy, and we give it to an algorithm in order to use it. On the other hand side, if you give this to an expert, when he decides, he uses concepts. And an expert groups these attributes into concepts. And here, the expert, the manager, would be really concerned how much someone is using, let's say, how much minutes they telephone and so on. And he would make two concepts. These concepts are not made in data. So he would use eve minutes and day minutes and group it under usage. And for some package or plans usage, he would use international plan, voicemail plan, and he would put it here. And he would use customer service call independently. So the structure would be actually made more hierarchically, but with much less rules and much easier to interpret. These decision concepts are very common in decision making. And what's very interesting, you can ask ChatGPT for any problem, for any data you have and attributes, to tell if you don't have an expert available. You can ask ChatGPT, please make me a DEX decision concept, DEX hierarchy, and ChatGPT can do it. He will do this. So, and this is what is really the key here. So we have input data. We can then structure it in a form that's called decision concept, and then based on this, we can make a decision. So actually, a decision here will be made bottom up. So that means we will look how much someone is doing day minutes and eve minutes, and based on these combinations, how much, whether this is high, low, medium, and so on, we will decide what the usage of the customer will be. Usually low, medium, high. Also, if someone uses, if it's a customer that uses a lot of plans, we will see what plans or packages someone is using. So if someone is using international plan, voicemail plan, and based on combination of this, we will make a decision whether this is an advanced user, a moderate user, a low plan user, and so on. And then, based on this, how much someone is using, his let's say subscription, what plans is someone using, and how much customer service calls are made. Based on these combinations, a decision will be made. Someone will make churn and no. So this actually simplifies decision making, because in the realistic settings you don't have 5 attributes, you have hundreds of attributes, and if you would not group them in such concepts and such hierarchies, you would actually not be there. You could not find a possible an expert that could for all combination of attribute values tell you what will happen. So, but this way, this is possible. But I showed you. So what's important? This really works. It is made on numerous projects, of thousands of projects. This is used worldwide, but it's not maybe an optimal way to find the accurate decision. But you get some other important properties. Okay. What you also get with when you have a DEX model, let's say a decision support system layer is that you can very easily make counterfactual reasoning. So if you look at customer whose telephone number is 382/4657, we see that this customer will probably leave the company. But if we are looking here for the smallest step that someone should make in order to change this decision. In this case, this is day minutes no. This means that that this customer has a high level of using day minutes. He's telephoning a lot, he or she. And if this would drop just to 1% for one stage, so not high but medium, this means that this decision of this customer would go to no. In realistic settings, this would mean we would need for this customer either to give him some free minutes or some more affordable paying system in order for him or her not to leave. On the other hand side, for customer 330-6626, if it's also the customer also plans to leave, but in this case, this customer is using international plan. If the customer would not have used international plan, they would not leave. In this case, this is a good signal that something is wrong with the international plan. Probably it's too expensive, or the customer. So some action should be made toward this in order for the customer not to prevent the customer to leave. And what organizations actually should do, because every customer can be made in some groups. So organizations should follow and see for whom to invest in order to keep them. And this is usually made several months in front in order not for someone to leave. Okay. So I show you DEX, what it does. And it can be also it can be a good system for people really to have decision rules that are consistent with each other, that are fair among clients, that are transparent, where you can see what intervention you should make in order to change some decision. So these are all properties that machine learning algorithms usually don't have. You have to apply some other algorithms in order to use this. Here I will show you what will happen after we have a decision support, after what should happen after we identify that someone will leave our company. So I told you at the beginning, someone tells you someone will leave with a churn of 98%. In this case, here are some strategies that can be done afterwards. So we have several strategies, and in these strategies, we have counterfactually policy, risk-ranked outreach, we have return of investment greedy policy, segment policy database, and tiered retention post policy. So after we get all the churn predictions and we give our predictions to some other department, or if it's in the same department, we have to make some analysis. What should we do with this? If we just use this prediction and sort, that would be actually the first thing everyone would do. So sort this decision. We will see this is tiered retention, sort these probabilities, and there where customers will leave the most, we would invest the most to keep them, and so on. We would see that this strategy here given in light blue, it's actually not very efficient. It's not the best strategy to do. We have other strategies. For example, we have this segment policy where we would do some clustering, and based on these make some decision, and we would see this is also not very efficient. In this case, we have some very good strategies. I told you, okay, risk ranked. Okay, I meant, okay. We have very efficient strategies, and these are counterfactual policy, where we see if we use counterfactual, that means that we, for each customer, we have what would be the best solution for this customer not to leave. And then we would actually try and just invest for these customers what's the minimum to invest for some customers in order for him or her not to leave. That this is quite an interesting strategy. And if you look here at this other retention uplift, we also see that this strategy is quite good. So this is the budget, how much we spend in units, and this is the retention rate. So we see actually that we get the best retention rate maybe if we use this counterfactual policy, but we have to invest a lot. But probably depends on the budget we have and how much customer we plan to retain. So we would decide on that. But we have some other strategies, and these are tiered retention. That means that we would make tiers of customers, so some high risk, low, medium risk, and low risk, and then based on this, we would the majority of our investment would go into high risk customers to stay, then in medium risk and then low risk, and this strategy seems as best. Also, one other good strategy is this ROI greedy policy post policy. That means that actually we would try, if we have some budget, we would try to invest so much that our return of investment is the best. And this is actually some good thing to do. And then we can apply this strategy. We can apply this strategy as well. If you look at the retention uplift, we clearly see that the best strategy is actually this tiered retention. So to have actually high, medium, and low level customers, and then based on this to make decisions. And two other great strategies as they are these counterfactual policy. It's not as good as tiered retention, but it's near that. So it's close, actually. This is what DEX is using, this blue one, or here this orange one. And this ROI greedy policy, it's also very good, like counterfactual policy. So why I wanted to show you this graph, where it's very important that this method DEX has some very good properties. So actually it doesn't drop accuracy too much. It makes decisions that are really consistent. It gives you for each customer the possibility what to do in order for the customer to change his or her decision. And these are good strategies also in the decision-making area after the machine learning models have made the prediction. Using this counterfactual policy is very similar to this tiered retention policy, so it can be also used. We tested this also on some other, this is for student dropout policy, and also in these cases it can be seen that this tiered retention leads across most budgets. Counterfactual and ROI greedy policies remain close but do not dominate. So, the design principles for transforming machine learning model into decision support systems is that we should treat all predictions as inputs. Scores and labels are evidence for decisions, but not the final decision artifact. The second thing is we should introduce a middle layer that decision makers can inspect, contest, and validate. That's very important. So the concepts we are using for decision making should be made explicit. These are really some organizational know-how, and this is what managers know. This is how they are thinking, how they are discussing about things. They use concepts. This is concepts, and this is one of the areas of artificial intelligence. It's actually also in the beginning of development of artificial intelligence, it was made clear that this is very important, this concept-based decision making, but somehow then machine learning went to some other, let's say, greedy approaches, but still these decision concepts are very important, and this is where decision makers or people come in. You will see if you try it that ChatGPT also understands it and can also generate some very good concepts for you. The third thing is that domain logic has to be enforced. So ordered scales, some rules should be made where organizational expectations imply directional influence. So this domain logic and this monotonicity of rules cannot be guaranteed when using solely machine learning and artificial intelligence. This is not something that machines care a lot, because they work with probabilities, but this is here really precise. What's also very important when making decisions, it's very important to have recourse. That means counterfactual and sensitivity analysis. They should be part of the model. So we always have to be able to contest the model, to look how the decision would be changed, what should be done in order to change the decision. And at the end, it's also important to evaluate some decision quality, to add cost, budget, retention, uplift, feasibility, explanation, quality besides accuracy. So if you really want to make decisions, it's not just important, okay, machine learning told me it's 98%, someone will leave. It is still a way to go until we reach the decision. So the next step after decision prediction is accountable decision support. We believe that machine learning is really necessary. It's what we call predictive analytics. But after predictive analytics, usually we said we need some prescriptive analytics based on this. What should we do? And one of the possible ways is the decision support system. Decision support models that have rules, constraints, concepts, and justifications. And this method DEX is very simple, still very uncontested solution for making concept, structure, qualitative models that preserve useful performance while enabling monotonicity and what-if reasoning. So this is the end of my talk. Prediction is not a decision yet. I hope you heard some interesting things. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Dear participants, if you have some questions, now you can have some questions and interaction with the speaker.
Professor Boris, may I have a question?
Yes, sure. Thank you.
I was listening to the presentation, and what I'm understanding is that we can predict or we can come to a decision based on data. So it's very much the things are in black and white. What is your take on intuition? Like we usually go with our gut feeling versus data-based decisions. So to what extent our intuition or like our gut feeling is meaningful when it comes to decision making, or how do we, if it is meaningful, to what extent we can have a balancing between data-based decision making and intuition-based decision making?
Thank you for this question. I think it is very important. These are the signals that machines recognize. They will say, oh, it's very important. And I think we should also recognize that if someone has a feeling that something is wrong, he, she should at least think about it and maybe try to contest the model that is there. Because this is the only way that we can build better models. So to what extent? I think with intuition, we can go really far. But in order to be competent, we have to use some combination between this artificial intelligence and human insights. But I think the combination of these two is actually, it's the way where we should seek our solution in using both.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, when as a continuation of that topic, the question, when we are using more and more AI tools, I really doubt the quality of the data input determines everything. Is there danger involved in the AI?
Yeah, I think, that's very important. The quality of data is actually very much influencing all these models. And this is also one thing why we need decision support system models, because this is the human expert insight into this. And it can stop unlogical decision rules that would come from data that is not logical, and just make a barrier and say no, you can go further because the rules have to be logical. Many times when I talk to clients, they say, okay, we want to use data because now everyone uses data, but we want that the rules that we use are there. So data, let's say data is important, but it's also very dangerous if just use it without some validation, without rethinking, without good models that are simple to recheck them every time. So, but this is a key point. If someone messes up the data, then all our conclusions can be wrong, actually.
Yeah. Dear participants, if anyone have some questions or interactions, you can have now. Then Professor Amson will deliver his vote of thanks to the esteemed professor. So then, if any participants have questions and interaction, now you can. Professor Amson, kindly proceed for.
Thank you, Professor. Very good afternoon, Professor Boris. Myself, Samson, Assistant Professor at Southern Institute of Management. Very good afternoon, all. What we have just heard is a truly fitting culmination for our conference on reimagining management in the AI era, driving sustainability and societal impact. On behalf of Southern Institute of Management Studies, I extend our heartfelt thanks to Professor Dr. Boris Delibašić for an inspiring and highly practical keynote address. Professor, you have showed us not only the theory but the practice of how artificial intelligence, machine learning, and modern decision support systems can be embedded into real-time business environments, turning data into timely, explainable decisions in areas such as customer churn, risk assessment, and strategic planning. Your examples made it clear how AI-driven DSS can analyze training data and run what-if scenarios and support managers with faster, more reliable decisions instead of just static reports. For our faculty, researchers, and students, this keynote has provided a clear roadmap for using AI and ML, responsibility in management, combining predictive power with fairness, interpretability, and societal impact, exactly in line with the spirit of ICMRS 2026. On behalf of SIMS and ICMRS organizing committee, I once again thank you, Professor Delibašić, for sharing your valuable time, your research, and your vision to us. I also extend sincere thanks to all the participants joining us from different parts of the world for making this online keynote session truly meaningful. And I'm really happy to see Professor Justin Paul also joining the session. Great to see him from the beginning to the end of our conference. So thank you so much, all of you, and thank you, Professor Boris Delibašić. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Ramson.
Yeah, Professor Dr. Justin Paul joined in the meeting in between your talk. That's why he did not disturb you. In the beginning, he was busy. And he's traveling now and coordinating a program for tomorrow. Then his mobile battery is almost to dry out. That's why he says, I may not be able to join at the last. He also had joined in between the meeting.
Yes.
So, Professor Boris, thanks a lot from the part of the ICMRS 2026 conference. Great. We wish we will meet again. Thank you, sir.
We will wish again. Thank you so much, and have a nice continuation and finishing of the conference. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.